Welcome back to ViViMaT. Oh, time flies. We're almost through with our regular session presentations. Next up is Pengfei Fan, a PhD student at the Center for Precision Manufacturing at the University of Strathclyde in Glasgow. His research interests include ultra-precision machining, nanomechanical and nanofunctional materials, and multi-scale simulation techniques. He's already a member of several international scientific societies and has won some Best Paper Awards at conferences. Let's see how he holds up at ViViMaT, right after this.
Coatings is a peer-reviewed journal of coatings and surface engineering published online by MDPI on a monthly basis.
And now, gallium arsenide.
Hello, I'm Pengfei, a PhD student in University of Strathclyde in the UK. I'm working with Dr. Xizhun Luo and Dr. Sarah Guo. It's my great honor to present my work in ViViMaT. Today, my talk is about mechanics of AFM-based nanomachining of gallium arsenide. In this page, we can see gallium arsenide has wide applications, such as microelectronics, radar systems, space, microwave, transistors, and solar cell. In this page shows gallium arsenide has much lower elastic modulus, loop hardness, and fracture toughness. Therefore, we can conclude gallium arsenide is a kind of more difficult hybridness material than silicon material. In light of literature review, we can see there are some approaches to fabricate gallium arsenide. Approaches of lapping and chemical polishing have been employed to machine gallium arsenide. However, these approaches are only for machining simple planar nanostructures and extremely time-consuming. Recently, single-point diamond tuning has been utilized to machine gallium arsenide as a pure mechanical method with relatively high material removal rate, just in a single pass. However, resolution of this method is close dependent on size of a cutting tool and is very difficult to be sub-10 nanometers resolution. A customized cutting tool with small size could be extremely expensive, and fabrication of correspondingly tool holder it will be very difficult as well. AFM-based nanomachining method is simple use, flexible controlling position capability, and relative high material removal rate. Overall, it can overcome the drawbacks of above methods. So in this work, I use AFM-based nanomachining method. In this page, AFM has three work modes, and they are contact mode, typing mode, and non-contact mode. In my work, I use the contact mode to carry out nanoscratching experiments on gallium arsenide workpiece. Typing mode and non-contact mode can be used for item manufacturing. Here is the schematic of nanomachining experiments by AFM and achieved nanogroups by AFM. Therefore, there are three emergence of research questions. The first one is, what is origin of ductile plasticity of single crystal gallium arsenide during AFM-based nanomachining? The second one is, what is wear mechanism of diamond tip during AFM-based nanomachining of gallium arsenide? The third one is, what assistant method can improve cutting performance of gallium arsenide? So that will be research problem that I focus. In this page, it's well known that Strathclyde strength and ViViMaT strength can be used to predict yielding in ductile material. By contrast, principal strength criteria is more suitable to predict yielding in brittle material. A single crystal gallium arsenide is hard and brittle at room temperature, but its chip can be removed through ductile mode. Therefore, this research looked into stress tensors and yield criteria that can be applied to describe plasticity in gallium arsenide. To achieve this aim, scalar strength values were obtained in cutting zone. Here, atomic strength tensor was averaged temporarily and then processed using a established 3D strength mechanics theory, as shown in this figure. It's evident that magnitude of ViViMaT strength in cutting zone was around 7 GPa, which appeared close to experimental nano indentation hardness of gallium arsenide. So the result shows both ViViMaT and the minor principal strength criteria. Both of them can be used to predict yielding during ductile mode cutting of gallium arsenide. The fact is, phase transition from zinc blunt structure to rock salt structure is around 17.5 GPa. Therefore, we can conclude that phase transition is not happening. Furthermore, I use Dsc method. As we can see, this Dsc method was used to capture an instance of emission of two dislocations in this is subsurface. It shows Berger's vector family of 1/2 110 was found, as shown in this figure. This means that nuclearization dislocation can occur much earlier than phase transformation. Overall, dislocation nuclearization occurring at a lower strength value of 7 GPa, which can coincide with the value of nano indentation hardness. It seems to suggest that the fundamental reason for plasticity to occur in gallium arsenide is dislocation nuclearization instead of phase transition. This conclusion challenged the existing publication reporting phase transition to be responsible for incipient plasticity in gallium arsenide. Okay, in this page, it can be observed maximum atomic displacement of apex of diamond tip. It could be reached 0.12 nanometer. This occurrence of the diamond tip elastic to plastic deformation behavior is attributed to high pressure acting on diamond tip structure. Moreover, from enlarged diagram of apex of diamond tip, it's apparent that a hexagonal structure with two carbon bond gaps forms at 2 nanometer. With nanomachining advancement, an irregular hexagonal structure was shown at 6 nanometer. Then, a complete hexagonal carbon cycle structure occurred at 10 nanometer. Subsequently, measured bond angle and bond length of carbon were 121 degree and 1.41 angstrom respectively. This result is very close to graphite hexagonal lattice structure. Finally, at cutting distance of 20 nanometer, the presence of a clear sp2 graphite layer structure was observed. This phenomenon suggests the apex of diamond tip transformed from initial sp3 diamond lattice structure to sp2 graphite lattice structure. From this, I can infer that graphitization governs the mechanism of the diamond tape during AFM-based nanomachining of gallium arsenide. Okay, so in this page, lots of influence factors result in graphitization of diamond too, such as thermal, high shear strength, chemical reaction, and twins and dislocations on the diamond surface. Therefore, based on my established MD simulation model in this work, influence factors of thermal and high shear strength were selected to discuss in subsequent slides. In this page, the average shear strength was computed against the machine distance as shown. We can see in this page. It was found the average shear strength fluctuated at a magnitude of 7 GPa. Additionally, after cutting distance of 10 nanometer, the peak shear strength was mainly located at apex of diamond tip. The magnitude of strength was much lower than shear strength of 95 GPa, and that was required to induce cubic diamond lattice instability with CP graphite lattice structure. This indicates besides shear, some other factors can also cause graphitization of diamond tape during nanometric cutting of single crystal gallium arsenide. In this page, we can see the average temperature of diamond tape dramatically increased at start of nanometric cutting. And then the average temperature keep steady at around 600 Kelvin. Another observation from this figure was the highest temperature around 950 Kelvin, which was concentrated at apex of diamond tip, which was also incipient place of graphitization. It's known that minimum temperature required to cause graphitization of diamond is around 940 Kelvin, which is basically the same high temperature of my simulation result. Therefore, it implies high temperature at apex of diamond tip might cause graphitization. From this figure, we can see here it includes two stages. The first one is the growing graphitization implies that initial rapid wear before 14 nanometers. Later stages of wear were somewhat steady. Therefore, this curve suggested that continuous graphitization of diamond tip might result in tooth failure during nanometric cutting of gallium arsenide. In this page, I established the hot machining of gallium arsenide MD simulation model. Next, I chose three representative temperature, 600 Kelvin, 900 Kelvin, and 1200 Kelvin were used to cut gallium arsenide to benchmark against the cutting performance at 300 Kelvin, means room temperature. Hot machining results in reduction of cutting forces with increasing temperature. However, very interesting is the coefficient of friction increased with increasing temperature. In this page, I calculated the shape angle. The shape angle was used to describe machinability of gallium arsenide workpiece. It was found that shape angle reduced by approximately 5 degrees when cutting at 1200 Kelvin compared to 300 Kelvin. We can see this table, the reduction of shape angle during hot machining. It suggests that the tangential cutting force become dominant over normal force, which make high temperature can improve. It means high temperature can improve cutting action and the machinability of gallium arsenide. Okay, that's my presentation. Many thanks for your attention.